I bet you didn't know that Jesus in the gospel was in the story of Moses, did you? The chapters most Christians skip in the Bible contain the entire gospel hidden in plain sight. Most people have never been told this. And here's what you were never shown. In the book of Exodus, God gives Moses extremely specific instructions for building a tent in the desert called the Tabernacle. Now, most Christians hit these chapters and quit. They just bail out because of all the measurements and the materials and the colors of the curtains, the dimensions of the furniture. I mean, it reads like an ancient construction manual, right? Boring and dense and irrelevant. Except it's not irrelevant. It's the most important blueprint in the entire Bible. Because when you walk through the tabernacle from the entrance to the innermost room, you walk through the entire plan of salvation, step by step, in exact order, built in the desert 1,500 years before Jesus was even born. Here's what the tabernacle actually contains. There's one entrance, only one. It faces east. There's no back door, no side gate, no alternative way in. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. One entrance, one way in. The first thing you encounter inside is the bronze altar. This is where the sacrifice was killed and burned. You cannot go deeper into God's presence without passing the place of sacrifice first, just like the cross. Next is the bronze laver, a massive basin of water where the priests wash themselves before going any further. Because you cannot approach the holy place with the dirt of the world all still on you, right? Baptism, cleansing, being washed clean. Then you step inside the covered structure, the holy place. And inside you find 3 pieces of furniture. So on the left is the golden lampstand, 7 branches burning with oil, the only source of light in the room. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. On the right is the table of showbread, 12 loaves set before God's presence continually. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. Straight ahead is the altar of incense, fragrant smoke rising day and night towards heaven, the prayers of the saints ascending to God. And then you reach the veil, a massive curtain 60 feet tall, 30 feet wide, 4 inches thick. It separated the holy place from the one room on earth where God's presence physically dwelled, the Holy of Holies. Only one person was allowed to pass through that veil, the high priest, once a year, carrying the blood of a spotless sacrifice, with a rope tied to his ankle in case he died in God's presence and had to be dragged out. And when Jesus died on that cross, that veil tore in two, from top to bottom. Not bottom to top as if a man had ripped it, but top to bottom as if God himself reached down and tore the barrier open. Access to God's presence went from one man, one day a year, to every human being on earth permanently. One entrance, sacrifice, cleansing, light, bread, prayer, the veil torn open, God's presence made available to all. That's the gospel, laid out in physical form, in a tent, in a desert, 1,500 years before Bethlehem. And most Christians have skipped right past it because nobody ever told them those boring construction chapters are the most detailed preview of the cross in the entire Old Testament. You need to see the roots. And once you have those roots, the Bible you thought you knew becomes something you have never actually encountered before. The tabernacle is just one moment. There are thousands more waiting in the pages you probably already read. Like, did you know, for example, that the Ark of the Covenant contained 3 objects? The tablets, both the broken and the replacement ones, the rejected manna, and the questioned rod. And that the mercy seat where blood was sprinkled sat directly on top of all 3. That the gospel was physically sealed inside a gold box in the desert. Did you know that the name Barabbas literally means son of the Father? And that the crowd was given a choice between 2 men with the same title? The innocent son of the Father and the guilty son of the Father? And the guilty one went free. Context changes everything, every single time. So don't discount the Old Testament. Deep dive and see how all 66 books written by over 40 different authors, over 1,500 years from 3 continents, can have the same linked story. That's the living and active word. God bless.